liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have approval of our minutes from our town board meeting on November 16th. I need a motion for that, please. Motion by John Bruskevich. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Gibbons. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Reappointment of Bill Blanding to the Board of Assessment Review. His term will run from 9/30/2022 to 9/30/2027. So Bill's not here, right? Good, let's appoint him to double that. And need a motion.
I move that, John.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second.
I second.
Second by Mr. Montroy. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. We have our insert for the tax bills explaining hours of tax collection, the credit card. You'll be able to pay with credit card this year, and we have to have a resolution from the town board allowing the county to put that into the tax bills, so we have to have a resolution for that. So do I have a motion?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second. Second by Mr. Bruskevich. Is there any discussion? For everybody's information, we will be collecting the taxes here at the town office building. Get online, and there'll be certain days that they'll be taken in person. You'll be able to pay with a credit card this year, or drop your taxes off with a self-addressed stamped envelope if you want a receipt in the blue bin out front. We started that when we had COVID for town business, and it's worked out well, and I think it'll work out good for our tax collection, so that's what we're gonna do. All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay, and we would like to go out to bid for our fuel and propane. So I need a motion for that. When, Mary Kate, when would we expect those to be open? Can we do it the first meeting in January, or do you expecting it on the 21st?
It says 9 AM on December 21st.
We were gonna, if we didn't have a lot, we weren't gonna have a meeting on the 21st. It's up to you. You're here.
You can put it to January, right?
Will it be okay? Is it gonna screw him up?
Nothing was, no.
Okay, alright. So let's put it for the January meeting, which is what, the 5th?
So,
Four.
4th?
Four.
Okay.
6 p.m.
Okay. 1, 4, and 6 o'clock. Okay, that's when we'll open the bids. Okay, I need a motion for that, please.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Gibbons, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Montroy. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay, our public hearing for local law 2022 updating the code enforcement program. I need a motion to open the public hearing, please.
So move, John.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gibbons. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Is there anybody here to speak for or against updating the code enforcement program? Yes.
Well, I didn't find it online. It hasn't been posted online, and it's not on the 1980s bulletin board over here. So I couldn't find it.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to keep the public hearing open and we'll post it for you. I'm gonna vote no anyway, so. So, anybody else have anything? A lot of it has to do with electricity, and everybody should pay attention to what the state's doing with electricity. Your house is going to all electric, not being able to buy gas appliances after a certain date, not be able to buy gas cars after a certain date. Of course, that doesn't have anything to do with the building code, but the state is really getting overbearing with this electric stuff, so. We'll get it up online and we'll get it posted
I
out.
have a quick, John, we talked about, what would happen if we didn't approve these new updated New York State
The biggest,
requirements?
the biggest potential issue could be is if there's an enforcement matter in front of a court, and the court is, we need to enforce this, and then somebody who's smart enough to say, is it in compliance or not? And I don't, nobody knows. We've talked to NICOM and we've talked to the Association of Towns. They recommend adopting it, but they don't really know what would happen. Just learned I got one or two clients that I'm probably not going to adopt it, but I can't make any guarantees for anybody.
Well, it's like the houses, you have to be totally electric by 2030.
Like a lot
If
of
somebody
things.
wants to replace a gas appliance with a gas appliance, they should be able to do that. But the state law says no.
There's a lot of changes in here, and again, I can't speak to what would a court do, an enforcement matter, is it enforceable if we don't adopt
Can we
it?
pick and choose what we like out of it?
We did pick and choose.
So we pick and choose more?
Larry, he helped us with this, with some of the stuff, so we did work with Larry on how it fit into your code. So I mean, by, what the state has said is, get this adopted by January 1st. Is there a penalty? No, there's not a penalty. The question becomes, what would happen when we try to enforce it? But we did check on whether there's a prescription for a penalty for those who fail to do it, and the answer is there's not.
So our January 1st meeting, we're okay.
You'd be the same place you'd be right now.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I don't have, not everybody was so willing to do it, but, and I don't know, maybe we'll find out. We can adopt it after. Did find out that you can adopt it later on, but they put this deadline down for the first. I'd say 90% of our clients are doing it. It's up to you guys,
That's that 10%.
10%.
John,
Who enforces it or makes sure that it gets enforced?
our codes.
Our post office,
So-
it's
I mean,
good.
above him,
I'm sorry?
above him. Who
Oh,
from the state
court
comes
of, well, I guess it depends what your question is.
Who comes in to make sure that the town has adopted those?
We don't know if anybody's gonna, we might get a letter from the Department of State or something.
I don't-
Hey, you're supposed to do that, but I haven't heard that that's gonna happen.
I don't like it, but I can see the road that the state takes and the federal government takes, that if you don't adopt these codes, and I'm just saying this, that, you know, if you keep your gas stove or you put a gas stove back in, does that null void your insurance?
Well,
Like
that's
a
a
wood
good-
stove or
that's a
something
good
like
question.
that. You know, that's their hook, how they'll get you. Insurance companies are running everything today.
So look, we've been through these before over the years where you get a big declaration from the state that you gotta update your codes, you know, with sort of generic model law, and we've done that here in the past. This one is the one that's rubbing people the wrong way for some of the reasons you're pointing out. You're supposed to adopt something about parking garages. We don't have any parking garages here. You know, it's silly. Town of Lebanon gonna have a parking garage ordinance, but if you read that law, it says you should. So I think Larry worked with my office and trying to shape it to what you currently have. So that's where we're
Like I
at.
said, when you go to Pennsylvania to get your fireworks, and you come back, and you have 3 gas stoves and
Yes.
20-30 in the back of your truck, you'll get fined $10 for the fireworks, and you're gonna do 6 years for the 3 gas stoves.
So if you want, if you don't feel like adopting tonight, you could table it if that's what you want. I didn't see any, like I said, no monetary penalty for not adopting it in time.
We can just leave the public hearing open for another month if that's what you guys wanna do.
You can revisit it next month.
Okay, so we'll just leave the public hearing open. All
And
right,
if you will, if you're not, because you're not gonna,
so does anybody wanna take action on it tonight?
just table it.
Art needs to read it.
Yeah, everyone wants to read it. so-
Post it online and make action next month.
And we'll pay an extra one. If I do, it's all yours. I might, you know, I think I do. I do have.
Okay, we have one budget modification, transferring $96,932 from AA 1990.4000 contingent to transfers to other funds, AA 9901.9000 for the Hamilton Brown Bushnell Shore Road Water Pay Application Number 3 for Highlander Construction. I need a motion for that, please.
So move, John.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Montroy. Is there any discussion? Okay, Mr. Montroy,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Gibbons,
Aye.
Mr. Burchevich,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Carried. Okay. We have one firefighter application, Lonnie Need from Cobblestone Drive in Cicero, Bridgeport Fire Department. So I need a motion for that person.
So, second.
Motion by Mr. Gibbons, second by Mr. Bruskevich. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay, we have Jacob Freeze, Amy's hiring him as a part-time employee over the highway. He actually started December 1st, so we got rubber stamped him, so I need a motion for Jacob Freeze, please.
So moved.
Motion by Jeff, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bruskevich. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay, Carrie, help me out with my times. BLCO's Christmas tree lighting didn't go off last week because, of the sideways rain and the hurricane force winds last week. So they're gonna do it this Saturday at what time? 4:30, 5 o'clock? Okay, so 4:30, 5 o'clock. Make sure you get down to, see BLCO. Are they gonna do everything with the fire department, this week too? Santa Claus and all that business?
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, so good. So, get down to the Bridgeport Fire Department this Saturday. Santa Claus will be there, and they always have a good time at the Bridgeport Fire Department. And they'll do the Christmas tree lighting, and I think the nation has fireworks, across the road, right after the tree lighting. Anybody else have anything for us? There, yes.
Do you wanna go through at least a little bit what you sent me on the short term, just so I can make some notes?
I don't think everybody's read all those. I had a couple calls today on them, and, we're talking about the, VRBOs, and I don't know if we're ready to discuss that yet.
Did you find out roughly how many are in town?
We had a map. I was gonna put that map up there. There's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get with Scotty Meyer on that, on what he's got from the planning department.
One of the biggest questions I'll probably have is if you go to like a permit or a license, I'll call it, if you can limit how many.
Well, I think what we'll eventually wind up at it is a list. Cause they gotta be on a registration list in order for you to enforce anything. And then it'll fall onto the codes department to enforce, you know. Here you set, how's it go, John? They sign an agreement.
So, yeah, you have a registration, if you adopt one of these laws, many of them have a registration that goes through codes, and there's an inspection that has to occur, and often a law will require, a responsible person to be available within so many minutes, that lives within so many minutes of the facility, that can show up in case there's a crazy part. There's a lot of stuff, and we've provided the town board with a bunch of sample laws to work through. So I think that'll be a starting point for the work we're gonna do. I don't know if I brought them, I dropped my car.
I had a lady call me today and ask me about it. I told her when we get ready to have the public hearing, it'll be posted and everything. And I think we'll leave the public hearing open for a couple months to make sure everybody gets in and has their say.
One of the wisest moves you probably could do is once you get the negative responses, try to get some people that deal with it and get them to pick apart whatever law you went in the past, so they can make that objective decision. I know that the guy behind me would be willing to pick it apart for me.
Mr. Smith?
No.
Oh,
The
he's
people
fine.
that- No, the people that own the
Okay.
Airbnb behind me, they'd be helpful. As long as you can speak Polish.
Oh, so do they live here in the town?
No.
See, that's the trouble that we have.
Yeah.
Is these people don't live in the town and they buy these homes and then they do that.
It's very, very lucrative right now,
Yeah.
especially in this town, because there's no.
Waterfront.
nothing. I looked up something that's pretty interesting. Phil, probably more than 2 or 3 years ago, I got an old email from Phil saying that not as much Airbnb, but that type of rental, you better watch out.
VRBOs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we got going on with that 500-acre solar farm over on New Bostonville. The guy does not live in the state, and he doesn't give a crap what the neighbors think. He wants to put it in.
I'll email you some of the points that I've looked at.
Okay, that's
And then
good.
you can provide to the board.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
thanks, Gary.
Yep, absolutely. Anybody else have anything? Okay, motion to go into executive session for advice of counsel.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second. Second by Mr. Gibbons. All in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carried.